actually get a view from him. Morning. There we go. Sends. Morning. Hello, boy. Well, you're looking quite awake this morning in comparison to the last time I saw you. Just the one set of leaves in his face. I'm sure he'll move. So as soon as he does, well, then we'll be able to get a better view. But now you're looking far into the distance. What are you looking at? Now, I'm not sure where the kill is, and it's a little bit tricky from where we are. So maybe I'm just going to go and see where he goes, and maybe we'll try and reposition and find out if there's another leopard on the tree somewhere, if there's another leopard on the ground, and of course where the kill might be. But good to see you. Oh, seems like he's trying to choose a spot where to lie down. Tread carefully. I don't know how you're going to find a better position. Child of the universe, yes, leopards can go after birds' nests. A bigger leopard, though, you'll see that perhaps they won't try as much. But if an opportunity presents itself, I doubt that any leopard would pass it up. They tend to, when they're bigger, they tend to concentrate on trying to get bigger things. That's a very funny position that he's found himself in. It's almost like a human. But I feel he's got no grip, so if his bum slides, then he's going to fall into the ground, and I don't think it's going to be a nice one. He seems to be quite comfortable, though. But yes, we actually recently saw Hosanna making a gosling kill, and just as he killed that gosling, had he found a nest with all the little chicks inside, he would have definitely taken a chance. Now, I think they eat smaller things a lot more often than what we think, or what we realize that they do. But we don't often see it just because it's a smaller kill, so it gets eaten very quickly. Well, that is a beautiful shot of you. You're looking a little bit more awake than the other day. Well done. You seem to be in high spirits now that you've eaten probably all of the small water bug, and his stomach is looking very big. Look at that belly. Someone's happy, definitely. There's quite a lot of food in there. That is very funny. Very, very funny. Now, again, why he chose that position, he clearly thinks it's comfortable. Maybe just because it holds his stomach onto the side, but I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like... I wouldn't choose that position. Now, I just want to find out if maybe Thamba's somewhere else around here. A bit of a tricky one. I can't see anything from this particular spot. Just want to check with my binoculars on top of the tree. Don't really see any other one. Is Thamba around? Okay. I can't see from here, but thank you. Alright, so Thamba is still definitely here, but I think he's just at the back. Lara Moore, you're saying that it looks like a Winnie the Pooh pose. Well, a very fat Winnie the Pooh after he's eaten all the honey. That is for sure. That is quite funny. And I think probably, he was growling at Thamba yesterday, so I'm sure he wasn't too thrilled on sharing his skill. I think it took him quite a bit of effort to try and get there, so it wouldn't have been a happy ending. And I remember Tristan mentioning that Tingana was actually snarling at Thamba, who's moving there. Well, you're also lying down there. Yeah, so he was snarling at him, and I don't think he shared that much of the kill. I think maybe Tingana decided to eat as much of it. And Thamba, unfortunately, has got to make an effort to try and make his own kills from now on. As much as we think that this is a lovely father-son situation, in some other areas, a young male leopard wouldn't even dare approaching its father to try and get some of the kill, unless it was willing to fight him for it. I think Tingana, though, has proven to be quite a nicer character to his offspring. He seems to be quite patient towards, or in the last little while, with Hosanna and Thamba. So I think, baby, we'll forgive him this time for eating the water buck. the baby water buck. Also, just because he's managed to find himself in such an awkward position, I'm afraid that he's going to fall at one point. Maybe we'll see a leopard dangling from the sky. Now, I think maybe I'm going to try and reposition, see if we can get a shot of both Tingana and Thamba. But while I do that, let's head back to Tristan and find out how the wild dog tracking is coming along. We're enjoying the time spent with the beautiful leopards, although both of them have decided that it's now sleepy time. So Thamba went through a grooming session, and now he's put his head down and definitely still fast asleep. Now, I think there's a good chance of both of them staying here for the rest of the day. As we see, Tingana is very, very full, so I doubt that he'll be going anywhere anytime soon. Plus, also, he doesn't really have to either. Even if he wants to just stay around the Chitwa area just to recuperate until he feels strong enough, he'll probably be able to do so. There are many, many prey species all around here that vary from birds, as we were saying earlier, from guinea fowl to goslings to impala to other baby water bugs. And of course, there's a lot of water, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about going anywhere. If he wants to, you watch out, you don't move. I'm so nervous that he's going to fall off that branch. Hello, you still half awake now. And then Thamba might just get a little bit bored and carry on moving. Michael, there is a possibility that his tolerance, that Tingana's tolerance to Hosanna and Thamba is due to his age. I think it could also, now that that Hosanna and Thamba are a little bit older, I think it could also be due to his condition. Now, we know Tingana's had a hard time lately, and he hasn't been feeling all that well, and he's lost quite a bit of condition. So it could be also that he's tolerating them because it's probably easier not to fight with them or not to attempt to fight with the younger generations that are probably a little bit stronger than him. However, we have seen him before where he's been quite tolerant of the both of them. So I think it's perhaps a combination of things. It's a combination of already knowing them, knowing that they're not territorial just yet, and that perhaps that he just doesn't have the strength or doesn't want to go through the trouble of having to chase them away. Although there's a very clear dominance that's going on, a very clear hierarchy. Thamba is down on the ground and Tingana's up on the tree closer to where the kill is. Now, I can't see how much of the kill is left, but it's still definitely on top of the tree. And it's on one of the higher branches as to where Tingana was. So it's very well hidden all the way in there. Like I said, pretty hard to see unless we go and almost move underneath the tree, which I don't really want to do because I don't want Tingana falling on us if he does fall, which I'm hoping he won't. So there's a good probability that they'll spend even this afternoon around here. Just stick around. And it'll be interesting to see what Thamba does for the rest of the day. Maybe he'll be very patient and just wait, almost like a hyena, for the scraps that Tingana might fall. Or perhaps he might even try his luck and go up and try to get to the kill to feed while Tingana rests. I think it'll be a range of possibilities, and I would definitely like to see what happens and see how Tingana would react to Thamba possibly going up the jackalberry tree and trying to get to the kill now that he's definitely had his fill and he's looking very full, which I'm really happy about. The other day he was still looking a little bit skinny, and every meal that he gets is a good thing into, well, keeping him stronger and making sure that he'll be able to get out of almost this rut that he's been in. Now, I think I remember someone mentioning that he might have been sowing yesterday. If he did, then that's a very good thing, because it's probably he's getting ready to advertise his presence again in this area. So it could be a sign that he's actually feeling a lot stronger than what he was up to a few days and even weeks ago. I don't think there have been any reports of him scent marking or sowing or anything along the lines, because probably he just needs to become invisible for a little while until he feels better, and then once he does, then he'll probably come back in full force. And we'll see what she'll do to that Hukumuri male. I reckon it'll be quite the fight. I don't think Tingana will go down without a fight. I almost want to go and grab his stomach and just feel how full it is. First Lady, it will probably take a few days to digest all that portion of meat. If he had quite a bit as we think he might, he'll be fine maybe for the next 2 or 3 days. Protein tends to be digested more slowly than what fiber and other substances do. And that's, and also because of opportunity, cats tend to gorge themselves, so they can eat almost between 10 to 25% of their body weight in one go. So depending on the animal's creature, and let's say that they weigh 100 kilograms roughly, that can be up to 25 kilograms of meat a day, which is a lot of meat. And I don't know if you eat meat, but if you have ever had too much meat to eat, then it's almost, you feel sick and you feel full for such a long time. Well, it's the same for them. And the ones that they've got their stomachs full of meat, it'll take them quite a while to feel like they're not full anymore, and then they'll start hunting again. So it tends to last in their stomach for a few days while everything gets broken apart and their digestive system just comes into play. But obviously he is still digesting now, and as he digests a little bit, then he's going to feel probably a hunger pang and then try to carry on feeding and then filling himself up again, and then digest a little bit more and then go back to eat if there's anything left. I'm surprised that he's got such a big stomach. It must have been quite a bigger-ish baby water bug if he's looking that full. Now, I would love for Thamba to get up and just show us how full he is, but it doesn't seem like Thamba is that awake either. Julian, it could be Thamba's kill. Just going as to what I heard on the radio, that everybody reported this being Tingana's kill, and it seems that yesterday Tingana was the one that hoisted it up in the tree. So it could be that Thamba made the kill. However, everything would point to Tingana just because he's been in the area that we know of in this particular spot for a lot longer. But I mean, the only way to know for certain is if anybody saw either one of them actually making the kill. And if Thamba did make the kill, then Tingana's being a cheeky leopard, and then he's just stole food and gone all the way up onto the tree with somebody else's meal. So it could be that Thamba's here just waiting to get his kill back because Tingana stole it, or it could be that he's just here waiting for Tingana to drop everything and just share it. So it's a range of possibilities. Now, as I said, the only way to know for certain would have been, and I don't know if anyone actually saw either one of them make the kill, and I think, that would probably be the only way for us to know. Right, sleepy leopards, we're going to let you sleep for a little while. We'll keep guard, see if you do decide to wake up. But while we do that, let's head back to Byron, who's on some more tracks. Very exciting that the cows are out, I can't even speak, are out and about this morning. At least the lions, I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing the same as these 2 spotted cats that we've got over here. Now there was, Thamba, oh, hello. What bothered you there? Every now and again, Tingana is moving, I think, to try and reposition himself and find a bit of a more comfortable spot on the tree. So every time he flinches, Thamba almost instantaneously opens his eyes and looks up as in like, are you done? Kirsten, yes, Tingana would have to go for water at some point, although it's a very cool day today, so I don't think he's going to go for water anytime soon. But the Chitwa Dam is about maybe 100 meters away from where we are, not that far. We can actually just see the edge of it from where we are. So if he wants to go for water, then he can just go all the way there. Wouldn't be bothered, and I think perhaps maybe some guests will see a leopard drinking right outside of their house at some point during the mid-morning if the sun does decide to start shining again today. You are looking, it's almost like, that indigestive look, as in like, oh, I'm so full, but I'm on a food coma. Oh, Tingana, good to see that you're up there, though. Although I still don't understand how you got yourself into that position. Sorry, I just gotta answer the radio quickly. Standing by. Okay, I don't think that was much of that. What a way to spend the morning. Beautiful jackalberry tree, 1 leopard on top and 1 leopard at the bottom. Now, the fact that he's got his eyes open like that, it could be that maybe he's going to try and rearrange himself on the tree. He is breathing a lot heavier. or you see the panting has gotten a bit quicker. So I think either he's not comfortable in the position that he's in, or he's definitely starting to feel the heat now. Now, I wouldn't say it's a particularly hot day, and it's actually been more on the coldish side, but clearly his metabolism is going, trying to break down all the water bug meat that's in there, and perhaps that's why he's feeling a little bit hot now, because Thamba on the ground is definitely not panting, and I think Thamba is probably at a much cooler temperature than what Tingana is right now. What a stunning setting this is, really. There we go. I see Thamba's definitely not breathing as heavily as Tingana is. He's just pretty much having a good night's sleep. And every now and again, there will be a fly flying around. Now, flies have been quite terrible the last few days, and I wouldn't be surprised that there are lots of them up there and then just come down and annoying everyone. Seems like Byron has managed to get all the luck, so let's head over to him. Well, how exciting, and well done, Byron, for actually finding, and well, Byron and Rexon for finding those lions. It seems like we've got a very good cat day today, and at least we've had a lioness and 2 of our spotted ones. So perhaps maybe we just need a female leopard to join the party, and then that will be it. We'll have all of them around. That would be wonderful. Now, actually, what I would want is for Tundi just to rock up with Rebel, and then that would be my day. Ooh, seems like Byron's got another view, so let's head back to... Decided to move just to see if potentially we can get a bit of a different angle, but they are in tricky spots, these 2 leopards, for us to be able to have a look at them. Tingana is still up there, and now maybe looking at him from this side, I'm even more worried at how he's actually managing to balance himself. Now, don't worry, if he falls, he's not going to fall on us. We are at least at quite a decent amount of meters away from him, but I don't even know how he got this going. He's almost like sitting down like a human, but then he's also a half leopard because he's got one leg on the one side of the jackalberry branch and then another one on the other side. But looking from here, it can't be comfortable. It really cannot be comfortable. So I don't know if he's just actually there. Look at that, all of it balancing. I feel like he's in tension almost. He doesn't seem to be a happy, relaxed leopard pose as it normally can be with them, especially when they go and lay flat on top of those branches. So I'm even more puzzled now as to how he can consider this a comfortable position. Maybe he is actually just guarding the kill, and perhaps maybe that is the easiest way to get to the kill, as the kill veers off on the branch where he's actually got his bomb on. So I think maybe he's just positioned himself there just to make sure that Thamba doesn't get up to the kill while he sleeps. He is an old leopard, and he's got quite a few tricks up his sleeve, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the thinking behind it as to why he chose such an odd position, just because he would block the access for Thamba to go up there. Because Thamba's also he is also an opportunistic leopard, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually tried getting all the way up there while Tingana slept. But it seems like Tingana knows better. Also, how long can you sleep in that position for? I'm not too sure. This is quite an unusual pose. Well, it is the morning of unusual things, so I would assume maybe that's why Tingana's decided to sleep in that particular position. Okay, now the other paw is up in the air, maybe for balance. Whew. I'm not sure. Honestly, leave it to a cat to get himself into such a position. Jamie, well, it depends on how Tingana falls. He could perhaps sprain his ankle or hurt himself, but I don't think it's not high enough for him to fall and break a leg. And even if he does fall, it's a muddy part underneath him, so the ground is not too hard, so I reckon that would soften the blow a little bit if he does fall and get from there. But I think if he were to fall, he would also manage to almost at least grab or hold on to with one of his paws, potentially the left one. And then that might soften the blow a little bit, as he would be able to then just drop himself from there and just choose his landing. Leopards do fall from trees every now and again, but they are very graceful in the way that they do it. Often you'll see that they're like a normal house cat instead of how they always land on their feet. It's very similar with the leopards, and they always have a way of just being able to reposition themselves and make sure that they don't fall hard on the ground. Oh, okay. Have you gotten tired of... Now you're definitely going to... What is that? Are you becoming a human? Have you been watching too many people having dinner from the deck? No, his face is completely hidden by some of the branches, but he is... I'm actually enjoying this position. Okay, there we go. Are you going to swap your foot? I feel like if you put your left foot onto the other side of the branch of the tree, there might be some hope so that you don't fall. We are going to keep guard on Tingana, make sure he doesn't fall, but while we do that, let's head back to Tristan, who's now managed to join the lions. Well, he is keeping up his balance, but it almost seems that he's trying to reposition the same way as Tristan. He is facing north as well, for the irony of it all, and he's been standing like that for the last maybe 5-6 minutes or so. He has not moved, so I don't think he knows what he wants to do. He's definitely listening out, and there were some squirrels alarm calling earlier, and he keeps changing the direction and when he looks. So I wonder if perhaps there isn't another leopard or something else around here that he's just a little bit wary of. There were some elephants alarm calling, or not alarm calling, but trumpeting in the distance. So perhaps that's what he's looking at right now. But I'm not sure what he can see. Obviously, he's got the vantage point. He is on a tree on top of the ridge, whereas we are down in the dry riverbed. So for us, it would be fairly impossible to see the same thing that he is seeing. So we can only try and guide ourselves from what we see he's doing. And whatever it is, it's definitely just on the northern side of where we are. So who knows? Maybe wild dogs? Come on. Yeah, that would be a nice wish, to have the wild dogs run past here and see what would happen. See if Thamba would go up all the way up into the tree. And Tingana, well, he's just in a funny position. I don't know if this is his morning stretch or what it is that he's actually doing with his stomach and his paws on that particular branch of the tree. I think it's almost that he decided that it could be a comfortable position, but then he realized it's really not, and then he's not ready to give up on that hope just yet. Although I can see about another 10 branches where it might be a little bit more comfortable, but it might mean that he would have to give way to Thamba or give a little bit more space for Thamba to actually go up. Are you still looking in that direction? I don't know what it is that he's looking at, but the presence of 2 leopards here could make a leopard come another one. Christina, you're wondering how long it's a male leopard's tail? Well, I would say probably about a meter 0.2 or so. This helps them specifically with balance when they're going up in trees, because it's not prehensile, as you can see. They can't wrap it around trees like some species of monkeys can in certain parts of the world. But when they're going up, they need to balance themselves, especially if they're going through very thin branches, and it just gives them that extra help just to make sure that they're able to keep their balance, keep their cool, and not fall from trees. It's probably why it's also, if you look at it now and the way that it's hanging, you can see that the bottom is a little bit thicker. I hear Franklin's alarming in the distance, so I wonder, but it's not really the area where he seems to be looking in. I don't know if maybe there's another leopard around here. Maybe Hosanna somewhere around here. Maybe it's someone else. Thamba is not bothered though. He is still sleeping and definitely not considering too much of this whole ordeal. But Tingana, on the other hand, he was like this when we first found him. Now he's changed positions, and then he's looking again, hearing out intently. So I wonder, because initially the report that came through yesterday was that there was a third leopard around here. So I don't know if maybe it was just a mistake, and we heard the report wrong, or if there actually was somebody else here and it's still not too far from the area. Could be. It seems like Byron has left the lions and given them to Tristan, so perhaps he will get lucky and also find a leopard all the way in Djuma. Well, it seems like going out and exploring what Tingana and the guinea fowl were alarming at are, by the way, beginning to call again. It was probably not a bad thing, because now we have finally managed to get a very good view of Tingana and the kill, a clear view of what's going on top of that tree. Now, he seems to get up and be sleepy, and then he approaches the kill a little bit more. So if you can notice, the kill is actually on the right-hand side of your screen. There seems to be quite enough food left there to keep him entertained for the rest of the day, and he's definitely a bit on the sleepy side of things. As you can see, his eyes are closed, but I think hunger is starting to settle in, so perhaps he does want to start eating. This could be the reason. We have 2 Wahlberg's eagles, it seems, flying on top of us, and this could be the reason as to why the guinea fowl and the squirrels were going a little bit crazy earlier on. I don't know if you heard that shriek. That's them that just flew past the tree where Tingana is. Now, it doesn't seem that Tingana's too worried about their call. He knows that no bird is going to try and come and steal his kill, so he's got really nothing to fear. Except only maybe Thamba trying to get up there, but I think Thamba's playing the patience game, still at the bottom of the tree. Tinga, I've never seen elephants trying to shake a tree to make a leopard drop off. I do, however, recall on an occasion where Tristan mentioned that he was looking at a leopard also in a kill with the tree, and a big bull in musk came. Now, the tree wasn't as tall as this one, and it was quite in a thick area, but what the elephant did, rather than shaking the tree, he started pulling the branches off for where the leopard was sitting down, obviously in a very aggressive attempt to try and make it come down from the tree. So I think shaking not, but perhaps if they can reach with their trunk, then we do know that they can do that. Seems like Tingana's gone back to sleep. It is funny, all you can see is his belly sticking out on the one side. I was hoping this was going to be his decisive moment where he was going to try and start feeding again, but it seems like he's still fighting off the god of sleep, and he's still not quite there yet. Although I must say, at least this branch looks a little bit more comfortable than the position he got himself into earlier on. I don't even know if he's come down from the tree during the night. It almost seems like he's become very protective of that particular branch of the tree, because it's the only access to the kill. So if he does come down, that might allow Thamba or any other creature to actually come and start feeding on the carcass, which I'm sure he doesn't want to do, because, well, if he has been a little bit on the hungry side of things, he wants to maximize his opportunity and eat as much as it can, as we see he's been doing. Judging by the condition of the kill, I reckon he's still got enough food to stay here for another day, so perhaps it wasn't such a tiny baby water buck after all. Had it been quite a newborn, I reckon it would have been finished by now, and he would still probably be somewhere around this area, but he would walk off soon enough. Now there's the kill still left there, his big stomach, and he's breathing. Now, it was quite curious when we saw him earlier on. Robin, if he can, definitely he will eat the entire water buck. Now, they don't eat, or in general, leopards don't seem to eat all the parts of their prey species. I have seen Tingana and some other ones trying to crush through the skull to get to the brain, but it's not that common, or at least I haven't seen it that often with some of the predators here. And they won't eat the fur or the coat of the animal, and they will not eat the hooves. Generally, that is what they leave behind, and the bones and the spine, they might crush through it a little bit while trying to get to the meat, but they won't eat all of that either. That would be more a hyena who's got a much more adapted jaw that's able to crunch through those very, very hard bones. Even in the little water buck, although they might not be as hard or as big or as thick as in some of the other creatures, bones are still very hard. So it might be hard for him to actually try and get through them. Now, you can see where we've been. The other day where we saw him, we were just literally on those bushes over there, and those little clump there. The evening that we found him, and all he's done now is he's walked across and then he's gone up the tree. So I think Byron had him on the other edge of the open area a few days ago, but you see he hasn't actually been moving around. We've got a hammer cub that's flying straight to us. Hello. All right, photobombing. But he hasn't really moved at all from where we've seen him. So I think it's a dual thing. It's, as I was saying earlier, it's probably opportunity. He doesn't really have to go anywhere else, but it's also him probably just trying to lay low. He's got a good area going on here, and perhaps only the presence of Thamba would be the only thing that would annoy him enough for him to move off and try to go somewhere else. But I mean, such a big open area can be such an attraction for so many species of birds, antelope, pretty much anything. So I think he would do well just to stick around here. I do hope that Thamba either catches something else if he already caught this one, or he manages to get a bite, because Tingana doesn't seem that keen on sharing. Now, there's not that full-on aggression where he will come down the tree and chase Thamba, or at least there hasn't been any of that yet. But it's definitely a very demarcated hierarchy, as in like, I am here up the tree, I am eating this, you stay down there. While our sleepy cat sleeps on top of his tree, let's head back to Tristan and find out if the lions are perhaps a little bit more active.